I'm getting ready to do my crank angle sensors down here. I already pulled one of the plugs off and cut it off. My point is, it gets really tight with the amount of space you have, so I actually pulled the wire out of its little clip under the shift cables and kind of rerouted a little bit to try and give myself just enough room. The other one looks like there's enough clearance, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, by the left shock tower here, there's another plug. And I've unplugged it, pulled it back, and yellow thing, wires out the back as usual. On this one, you can see it's yellow on top and black plastic underneath. I have a jeweler's screwdriver here, just put under the edge, and slowly pry it up. And it gets the cover off. Okay, for this plug under the left shock tower, it's a bit of a bitch kitty to work on. It's got the yellow face here, which actually pries out with, I used a jeweler's screwdriver, and there's no pins or anything, it just pries out and there you go. Then you're left with the actual pins. In the instructions they talk about taking a hat pin or something. I just have a big ass sewing needle here. And you probably can't see this at all, but for each electrical metal connector, there's a little T-shaped hole behind it, and believe it or not, if you look down the hole, there's a little tab, and you stuff the pin between the tab and the metal fitting, and it ain't easy to do, and most of the time you're sort of going nowhere. But eventually, if you get it, the electrical fitting or the metal part will actually pop out the bottom. And as you can see, I'm getting nowhere fast here. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, still dealing with this plug. One thing of note is I couldn't find any numbers listed around here for identifying the wires in the holes. So I sketched out the shape of the plug with its little eccentricities down here and then wrote in the different wire colors. So I did take a picture, but there's no numbers that I could find on the plastic plug. Anyways, back to removing these damn pins. I found the best way is big ass pin. Actually, it's not real big ass because the big ass ones are too big. And you put it down between the little tab that you can see if you actually had it in your hand and the fitting. And you hope that the needle actually goes down there. Okay. So needle is buried. In fact, it's actually sticking out the other side. Now what I found is rather than yanking on the wire, which seems to be hopeless, I actually push on the actual metal pin thing up here, and that seems to get it started. It works much better than pulling on the wire, which just falls apart. Okay. Now we'll see what we've accomplished here. Hey, it came out. Okay. One down, many more to go. Word to the wise when you're doing the plugs under the cover rather than try and go up in there and try and get the plugs out. Just undo Phillips head screw up top, Phillips head screw in the bottom. This cover comes off, and then it's real easy to get into the plugs and change them out. Okay, it's all done. And boy, it was quite a bit of work. So I changed plugs on both of the ECUs, which was actually surprisingly easy. Did the plugs on the fuel pressure regulators, throttle position sensors, mass airflow sensors, down inside the coolant temp sensors, did the wire harness for the fuel injectors. I did both of the plugs for the fuel injector harness going in. I did one of the plugs under the plenum. It was such a pain in the neck that I didn't bother doing the other one. I thought I would take it out and run it, see how it did without changing it. It runs fine, so I left it alone. Did the plugs for the oxygen sensors down below there. Did the plugs on either side for the ignition coils and power modules. And did the plug over there, which apparently goes up into the cabin or something like that. Does it run better? It runs great. I will be honest that halfway through changing out all the pins, I did take it for a spin, and my engine, check engine lights were still popping on with O2 sensor readings, so I did buy 2 cheap generic oxygen sensors at $40 a piece, pop them in, and today after I finished all the pins and put in the O2 sensors, it ran like a dream, no engine lights, so I can't tell you which fixed it, but it's running great.